Hello everyone, this is Alice from CICA. Welcome to our technical presentations. Today we're going to talk about cranes operating near power lines. Electricity is one of the most important power sources that we all use every day. But if it's not properly managed, it can cause serious injuries or deaths. Power line contact is the largest single cause of fatalities associated with cranes. Death or injury may result if machine, load, or hoist line touches or comes close to the electric lines. To help you manage this, we developed this presentation. And also, CICA has made a toolbox DVD available to members to improve our understanding of operating around power lines. Electrical hazards should be eliminated or controlled at the planning stage of your lifting job. If you're the lift planner, check if there are power lines present on site. If there are power lines present, do you need to set your cranes up near the power line? Are there alternative lifting positions available to eliminate the risk? If you cannot move your crane, have you got risk control measures in place to eliminate or control the risk? If you're the crane operator, after you arrived at the job site, before you set up your crane for the lifting task, check if there are power lines near where you are planning to set up your crane. Remember to treat all power lines you can see as being live. Here is the graph we developed based on AS2550.1 to explain to you the different operation zones near a distribution line up to and including 132 kilowatts. Some state electrical regulators may have different requirements than these. When you work near the distribution lines, if any part of your crane operation, this means not just where you set up your crane, it also includes where you pick up the load, where you slew the crane boom, and where you place the load. If any of these operations got into the yellow or the red zone here, then you need effective control measures in place. The red area in the middle is called the no-go zone. The no-go zone is anywhere above the power line and within 3 meters each side of the power line. Your crane shall not be operated in the no-go zone as indicated in the graph, unless written permission from the electricity distributor has been obtained. All conditions specified by the electricity distributor are complied with. The electricity distributor is notified before commencing work. A spotter performs spotting duty is in place, and a pre-start meeting has been conducted, and the risk assessment has been completed. The yellow area outside the red area is a zone requiring a spotter. The spotter required zone is between 3 meters to 6.4 meters of the power lines. Your crane shall not be operated in the spotter required zone as indicated, unless written permission from the electricity distributor has been obtained. A spotter performs spotting duty is in place, and the pre-start meeting has been conducted, and the risk assessment has been completed. The term spotter is defined as a safety observer who is a person specifically assigned the duty of observing and warning against unsafe approach of the crane, its lifting attachments, or its load to electrical apparatus. Finally, the green area is the open area outside 64 meters for the power lines. Just be careful. If you set up your crane in this area, you still need to assess your lifting operations to see if there are any electrical hazards. Because even though you're setting up in this area, if during your lifting operations, any part of your crane goes into the spotter required zone or the no-go zone, you need to follow the instructions and the requirements as specified above. Here is another graph we developed based on AS2550.1 to explain to you the different operation zones near a transmission line greater than 132 kilowatts. This graph looks similar to the one we had before. However, the sizes of the zones are different. The red area in the middle is called the no-go zone. The no-go zone here is anywhere above the power line and within 8 meters each side of the power line. Your crane shall not be operated in the no-go zone as indicated in the graph, unless an easement entry permit has been provided by the electricity distributor. A written permission from the electricity distributor has been obtained. All conditions specified by the electricity distributor are complied with. The electricity distributor is notified before commencing work. A spotter performs spotting duty is in place, and a pre-start meeting has been conducted, and the risk assessment has been completed. The yellow area outside the red area is called the spotter required zone. The spotter required zone is between 8 meters to 10 meters of the power line. Your crane shall not be operated in the spotter required zone as indicated unless written permission from the electricity distributor has been obtained. An easement entry permit has been provided by the electricity distributor. A spotter performs spotting duties, and a pre-start meeting has been conducted, and the risk assessment has been completed. The green area is the open area outside 10 meters of the power lines. And as mentioned before, if during lifting operations, any part of your crane goes into the spotter required zone or the no-go zone, you need to follow the instructions and requirements as specified above. These graphs were developed based on AS 2550.1. Always check and refer to your local state requirements before planning job. The clearance distances specified by all power supply authorities are for ideal weather conditions only. The presence of humidity, fog, rain, wind, or excessive heat can dramatically affect the safety of clearance distances. We talked about the different operation zones. If you do need to operate inside the no-go zone or the spotter required zone, what are the control measures you should consider? Obviously, isolating the power line is the best solution. It will eliminate the hazards and risks from the source. Lifts should be planned in advance to maximize safety, enabling the opportunity for electricity distribution authorities to isolate overhead power lines. Where overhead power lines have been isolated, the crane operator should retain the electrical authority's isolation permit during operations. Where there is no isolation permit, all power lines must be treated as live. Where appropriate, limiting devices should be fitted to cranes to prevent the crane jib from contacting the power line or entering the danger zone. Limiting devices are generally more suitable for tower cranes than mobile cranes. Earth the crane if there is a risk of induced current. Earthing is not about earthing the crane from power lines. Earthing is helpful for static charge and for induced charges from power lines. If elimination or engineering controls are not possible, then the normal cycle of operation should be slowed down to increase reaction time for assessing risks. Visual aids such as tiger tails attached by the power supplier and made of non-conductive material should be tied to aid visually of the power lines. And a dedicated spotter should be appointed to provide a warning to the crane operator should the crane or the load approach the boundary of the danger zone. What if during the lifting operation, your crane accidentally made contact with the power line? Remember one important thing: don't panic. When you panic, you make wrong decisions that may cost your life. If power line contact occurs, remain inside the cabin or on the crane. Warn all other people to stay away from the crane and not to touch any part of the crane, rope or load. If possible, operate the crane carefully to break contact. If unable to break contact, remain inside the cabin or on the crane and take no further action until it is confirmed that conditions are safe. Only when it is essential to leave the cabin or crane because of fire or some other reasons, jump clear as far away from the crane as possible and avoid touching the crane and the ground at the same time. When moving away from the crane, shuffle slowly across the affected area to avoid contact across areas with high potential difference. Following any contact with live power lines, a competent person shall inspect the crane before further use for possible damage caused by the contact. Any damaged components should be repaired before the further use of the crane. Wire rope should be replaced if it touches the power line, as the arc will usually weld, melt, or badly pit the rope. When operating cranes near power lines, remember to always refer to state requirements before planning work. Treat all power lines as live if unsure. If contact happens, don't panic. Stay calm and treat the situation accordingly. Thank you for watching my presentation. If you have questions or comments on cranes operating near power lines, or would you like more information on the Toolbox DVD, please contact me at alice@cica.com.au. Stay tuned for CICA's technical presentations. See you next time. Bye-bye.